When I came to, I was in an unfamiliar place. Gray painted walls, small windows on one of them, one exceptionally bland table. Great. I was in an interrogation room. I sat there, alone for a good part of an hour before actual human life entered the room with me. Now my memory was a bit hazy at this point, so I'll try and sum up the conversation as best as possible. Your son didn't survive. Deepest sympathies to you and your family. I'm not fully guilty, but evidence leans towards it. A further investigation must be held. You will be brought back home, but you will be under constant supervision, so on and so forth. I was driven home in the back of a police cruiser. Last time I was there was in high school, when vandalism was the cool thing to do, and I was welcomed with open arms by my still sobbing wife and my emotionless son. Going back wasn't easy. Thankfully, we didn't stay long. The police explained that we were going to stay at a hotel for a few days. We gathered our things when a picture from our fridge caught my eye. It was a picture my late son drew. When I saw it, my heart nearly stopped. In the cutest crayon drawing that you can imagine, my son was standing next to a tall, faceless man in a black suit. I made sure no one was around to see me stuff the picture into my pocket. The hotel was what you would normally expect. Simple wallpaper, 2 twin beds, 1 TV, cheaply flower design on everything else. It would have to do since we were stuck there. We settled in, placed our stuff, lying down. I, on the other hand, went to the bathroom. The only place I knew was private. I locked the door, took the picture out of my pocket, scoured the page for clues, but to no avail. All that was there was a crude drawing of him, his name scribbled in the bottom corner. The thing that unnerved me the most was the fact that the slender man had no face, no identity, not a single outstanding feature. It rattled me to the core, but I had enough stress from today. I needed sleep. Badly. The night was rough, but I still managed to. Not a single dream with the slender man either. Then a banging came on the door. Being half asleep the whole time, it scared the shit out of me. I turned to my right. 5:14 a.m. Heads were going to roll. I dragged myself out of bed and very slowly opened the door. It was the police officer that drove us here. He had a look of panic on his face. He said my son was missing. Nothing clicked. It took me a minute to wake up and grasp reality again. My son's body was missing. Snatched right out of the hospital. But this time, I knew where he was. I had to get back to the forest. I had to find the remains of my suit. It was the only way to stop the Slender Man, but I knew it wasn't going to be easy. I had to ask the police officer if he could drive me back to my house, and I had forgotten something. He pondered a moment, and then obliged. This time I had been allowed to sit in the passenger seat. The ride was quiet. Tried to get some sleep. He didn't start any conversation. When we got there, I was careful to make sure no one else saw me. I entered the house through the front door, quickly escaped out the back, headed for the forest. It was still very dark, so traversing the heavily wooded area was not easy. The only light that came through was that of the moon, so I walked, almost blind, hoping to find some scrap of my suit. It seemed to be impossible until, amidst the darkness, I saw a scrap of paper. The white of it stood out like a sore thumb. I leaned down to pick it up, and when I turned it around, what I saw completely horrified me. It was another drawing of my son, both him and the Slender Man. But this one was different. There were 3 other people. A boy the same height as him, an older-looking girl, and another boy as big as the girl. Then it dawned on me that it was us, my family. My son drew us in with the Slenderman. Then I saw a beam of light. It was the police officer. I ran to him. I showed him the picture. I explained that my family was in great danger. All he told me is that there was nothing he could do. He said that we should go back to the car and we should go back to the hotel. A million thoughts ran through my head. Should I concede? Should I resist? What should I do? What I did next is peanuts compared to what was about to unfold, but I didn't know. Looking back, I didn't want to. I gave it to the police officer's request and began to head back to the car. When he had his back turned toward me, I picked up a fair 6 stone and brought it down upon his head. He staggered a bit and fell to the ground. I took his car keys off from him and ran towards the car. It was dark. I needed to get back to the hotel. I screeched into an immediate halt in the hotel parking lot and ran towards the door where we were staying. I swung open the door to behold the one thing that I was trying to prevent. Amidst all the blood that painted the room, there were 3 bodies making a circle around the slender man. He turned and looked at me, his hollow, non-existent eyes staring deep into me. Emotions I had never felt before, emotions without names, filled my brain and body. It was like he was making me feel everything that he ever had. With an outstretched hand, he said only one thing that would be burned into the back of my mind forever. Help me. Sirens came from behind me. I turned to see the police cruisers pulling into the parking lot and watching them get out. Using car doors as shields with their guns aimed at me, I raised my hands above my head. I slowly looked behind me to see the slender man fade into nothing, leaving only a tattered suit in a heap on the floor. He killed my family. My life would never be the same, and yet something told me I was never going to see him again. I would never be able to exact revenge, even if I figured out how. Everything up until the white padded walls isn't exactly clear to me. I've been told that after they saw me at the hotel with my DNA on the suit, that I was made the primary culprit. And after they arrested me and subjected me to fervorous testing, to which they only got nothing more than an unintelligible noise, I was subjected to this place. The white padded walls. The same white padded walls that I see all day, every day. No one will ever know what happened to me and my family. The emotions that were broadcasted to me caused me to lose my ability of speech. Now all I can do is write and draw, and I write out emotions that the slender man felt. I draw things that he's seen. They are what keep me here. I am a victim of another man's emotions. Sometimes I feel like I've become him. Like we are the same thing. That day I learned something. We were slender.